guest for today is national award-winning, much acclaimed director Nikhil Advani, director of blockbusters like Kal Ho Na Hai, Kal Ho Na Ho, creator of hugely, exceptionally well-made Rocket Boys. Right now, he's basking in the glory of his latest web series, Freedom at Midnight, based on a book by Dominic and Leary. It has been made with dexterity, attention to detail, and with great sensitivity. Thank you for taking us back to those pages of history.
Thank you so much, Nonika.
So tell me what is the biggest challenge of going back into history?
Well, I mean, I think that the answer is very clearly that you have to get it right.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, there are so many people who are possibly more how do I put it? They're more experts at particularly this period of history, which is independence and partition and Mahatma Gandhi and Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, etc., Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So I think
Yeah.
that the first, I mean, whether it is Rocket Boys or whether it is Empire or whether it is Freedom at Midnight, I think that it's very important to choose the correct source material,
Hmm.
and which actually defines the tone of and texture of what you're going to and how you're going to be telling it, right? In the
Yeah.
sense that while I think that it's a wonderful book and I think it's a great book as a 16-year-old boy, I read it for
Hmm.
the first time and I continue reading it, and every time I read it up, it chokes me up.
Hmm.
I mean, there are very valid historians who feel that the book is almost like a screenplay, right?
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
think that worked for me because I knew that I have to open up these conversations and these meetings and these moments and these events that led up to Independence Day and the unfortunate and very very cathartic partition
Hmm.
for an audience of people that really haven't read some of the stuff, have not read the book per
Hmm.
se. So
Right.
I think the source material becomes very important, and getting it right is very important.
Yeah, but you're talking of getting it right, but there'll always be, naysayers, doubters, nitpicking. So are you kind of prepared for it? All kinds of criticism will
Yeah,
come in,
no,
however good
Nonika,
it might be, you know?
yeah, Nonika, if you're working in the film industry at this point, if you're a storyteller and if you're creating any kind of material, any kind of film or show, long form or short form,
Hmm.
um, you have to be. And given the fact that social media allows you to pick up just send me a message, DM me or send me a message or put it on a public platform.
Hmm.
It comes with the territory, yeah. So, rather than sit back and, not do what I want to do, I'd
Yeah.
rather I'd rather do something, spend 2 years of writing and years of production doing exactly what I want to do.
But what would you say to some of the naysayers who would rather focus on what you have not shown than what you have shown? Some of the criticism is
I
also,
I
there's
would
not
say
enough
please,
attention to Johnson or this and
yeah. So
that.
I would say the it's they they sh I'm waiting to watch what they make, and I would they should definitely show what I have not shown.
But sadly they are not the creators, except one odd, like maybe Vivek Agnihotri. But yes, rest of the criticism mostly comes from critics, who never make anything. People like us, armchair critics, basically.
No, but I read everybody's reviews. I read all the critics. I get heartbroken at times. I
Yeah.
wonder what have I done. Yeah, yeah, completely. I'm totally heartbroken. The thing is that because most of these guys are my friends, or at least they are colleagues who I meet at festivals. I've just come back from the IFI and from Goa festival, and everybody's while they are all gushing and saying mind blowing. I've seen 3 episodes and 4 episodes. I'm rushing back to see the seventh episode, etc., etc.
Hmm.
I also know that there are certain other expectations that I may not have been able to satisfy.
Hmm.
But all the choices that we made while telling the 7 episodes of season one are
Hmm.
choices that were taken by both me,
Hmm.
my writing team, my producers, my platform heads, whether it was Mr. Danish Khan, whether it was Shaukat. So it is a very collaborative process. And I think that if I love Freedom at Midnight, Danish Khan and Shaukat will love it even more, you know.
Mm.
So editorially, all the editorial choices are something that I completely stand by,
Stand by.
you know. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
completely stand by, right? Yeah, but what exactly did you have in mind, while creating these characters for us, whether it was
It's
Nehru,
very simple. Yeah,
Patel, or Gandhi? Mm.
The thing is that it's very simple that when we made Rocket Boys,
Mm.
a lot of young mothers and wonderful children came up to me and they said that we've started my children have started reading about science and
Mhm.
we did not know who Homi Bhabha was. We did not know how who's Vikram Sarabhai was. APJ Abdul Kalam is a name that we had only heard,
Mm.
and so it was very heartening. And as far as I'm a history buff, I love history, whether it is Mumbai Diaries, whether it is Empire,
Mm.
whether it is Rocket Boys, Nine, Freedom at Midnight. I mean, I'm a very big fan of history. The podcast Empire by William Dalrymple and Anita Anand is my go-to for anything.
Mm.
I think I must have spent all the money that I was hoping to make in Freedom at Midnight just buying the books that William Dalrymple and Anita Anand constantly recommend. So I just wanted people to get back to history, and I just wanted to. Therefore, there is a ticking time clock in the entire show. I don't know whether you've seen all the 7 episodes.
Mm. Of
So
course,
there's a
I've reviewed it
yeah.
too. Yeah.
There's
Mm.
a ticking time clock in the entire thing. It's as if a time bomb is going off,
Mm.
and I wanted to actually I have no clue what were the conversations or the private conversations, nor did Mountbatten Louis Mountbatten opened up his diaries and his personal journals and his chronicles to Dominic Lapierre and Larry Collins. But really it's what he knew or the
Mm.
conversations that he was having with these leaders, whether they were Jinnah, whether they were Nehru, whether they were Sardar Patel, whether it was Mahatma Gandhi, it was these conversations that he was having. So those
Mm.
were available to the writers, but what was not available to were the conversations where he was not present. So
Yeah.
one had to just basically take that what is Gandhi was extremely principled.
Mm.
Sardar at that time was, I treated Sardar like everybody's wonderful Gujarati uncle, which is that,
Mm.
let's move with the this thing, right? Let's get the job done. It's over now. What we have to do is done. Let's move. Let's move to the this thing of governance, right?
Mm.
And while Nehru is getting torn apart between this, so I use that, and my attempt has been, Monica, is to just put every single audience and viewer into those very, very, heated rooms, right?
Mm.
They were also getting information in real time, right? They were putting up a fire in, say, Kolkata. Noakhali was blowing up. They were putting up 5 fires in Noakhali. Bihar was burning up. When they were putting up Bihar, then Punjab took off, right? So I
Right.
mean, really, they did not have the power of retrospect that we
Or
in 2024 have. We can sit back today
yeah,
in our home
absolutely.
theaters and turn
Mm.
around and say कि they didn't get it right, उसको उनको ऐसा करना चाहिए था, उनको अगर पता होता तो उनको पता नहीं था. They did not even
Hindsight is
know
a
that
very good
Jinnah was
tool.
dying, right? उनको
Mm.
पता भी नहीं था कि जिन्ना मर रहा है. अगर उनको सबको पता था कि जिन्ना मरने वाला था 20 महीने में, they would
Yes.
just not do it.
Mm.
You know, I would
Yeah.
possibly be doing this interview with you to you from Karachi. In still undivided India.
Mm. But talking of Jinnah, I mean, like much of the criticism also is about that the blame of partition is laid at his feet while British get a clean sheet. Do you think that's this valid
Well,
criticism?
no. So my humble submission to everybody is that you've seen 7 episodes out of 15 episodes. 8 episodes is to
Right.
go, right?
Mm.
At this point, if you see the first 7 episodes, Mountbatten is agreeing to everybody. He's
Uh,
agreeing to Sardar, he's agreeing to Nehru, he's agreeing to
yeah.
Jinnah, he's agreeing to Gandhi, he's agreeing to everybody, right? And
Uh,
really, he's like a headless chicken himself, but I have actually played him with a little dignity and little sophistication, which actually
yeah.
blows up the minute Radcliffe comes in when the reality of Exodus comes in, right? Everybody was expecting the whole idea, what everybody thought was that the partition would quell the violence. There was only
Mm.
one man who kept saying ki partition will only make it worse, and that was Mahatma Gandhi. right? So my
Hmm.
humble submission is, yeah, you have seen 7 episodes. Wait for the
Yeah.
next 8 episodes, and we can revisit this question after those 8 episodes.
Okay, but what exactly can we expect? And as a Punjabi, I'm like kind of dreading the horrors of partition.
There is a brilliant scene where Mountbatten, after having delivered what he called, he was the architect of
Hmm.
India's independence, and
Right.
is being lauded in the British papers everywhere, and at least calling him up to congratulate him. Menon
Hmm.
walks into the room and very quietly bends down and whispers in his ear, "It has started." And
Hmm.
Mountbatten looks at him and he says, Menon says 3 to 4, and
Hmm.
Mountbatten says 1,000, and he says,
Hmm.
no, sir, 3 to 4 million people have started walking across the border.
Hmm.
That became 20 million people. Families were torn apart, right?
Yeah,
My family
absolutely.
was torn apart, right? I'm sure your family was torn apart. So
Right.
Punjab is ravaged, right?
Hmm.
And so you will see Radcliffe, you will see what that Radcliffe, where he was told he had 13 months, is suddenly
Hmm.
told he has 5 weeks.
Hmm.
You will see Mountbatten, who is celebrating himself as an architect of India's independence, packing his bags and getting ready to leave
Hmm.
as fast as he can. You will see the princes who have decided that we had signed a charter with Queen Victoria.
Hmm.
We do not have to listen to this whole Congress as well as Muslim League. We will announce our own independence. You will see Kashmir,
Hmm.
and you will see the death of Gandhi.
But do we also get a healing touch somewhere? Because a partition definitely is a wound that festers, especially in Punjab. You know,
Is the has it healed?
yes and no.
Yes and no is my answer.
Okay. Yes and no is your answer. But talking of your, cast, do you think you were taking a big risk by casting all these young
No.
actors as stalwarts? Of course, Siddhant has proved
No, there's
himself.
no. It's a requirement of the production. I can't. There's no point in me casting Akshay Kumar and making him look like Gandhi.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right? There's no point in me doing that at all. So the idea was that, I mean, we get as close physically that we can to these actors. But the thing
Hmm.
is that these characters. But the thing is that one has to understand that Gandhi's persona was not just his physicality, was the
Hmm.
fact that he was the Mahatma, right? So I
Absolutely.
mean, I mean, what we can only do is then, I mean, whether the actors are, and we are brilliant actors, they research the voice, they research the walk, they research the body language, they researched everything. 1.5 years of workshop, 1.5 years of reading. And the most important thing, Nonika, was that I do not want any of my actors to be playing Gandhi or Nehru or Sardar Patel and also
Hmm.
being murderers in somebody else's show. You know.
Hmm.
So the minute that was the case, I had to tell them that for a year and a half, you're not going to do any other work, right? I'll
Hmm.
compensate you, but for a year and a half, you'll not do any other work, right? Which meant that the pool suddenly shrunk down, right?
Hmm.
Suddenly stars को तो
They're doing
6 फिल्म
all
करने
kinds.
हैं ना, साल में 6 फिल्म करना है ना सबको, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think it is even when Rocket Boys came, you were talking of a period which is like which is far removed from the present government, and do you face the dilemma of painting? Of course, they are all stalwarts. You can't paint them in negative light. So were you conscious of this? I mean, like Nehru socialism is not so fashionable today.
Yeah, but my idea is I'm not telling the story of 2024. I'm telling the story of 1947. So basically, whether it is Rocket Boys or whether it is Freedom at Midnight, my attempt has always been to put the audience into the same room as these people, to
Yeah.
transport them back to 1947, where there was an ideological Gandhi, where there was a pragmatic Sardar Patel, and where there was a Nehru who was being torn between these two men, where there was an obsessive and highly ambitious Jinnah who had been snubbed by Gandhi and the Congress. right? And who really, for all intents and purposes, was not even a true Muslim, but chose to, like, there is a wonderful line in the show when Motilal Nehru tells Jinnah that, you know, हम सब ने गांधी को हमारा लीडर मान लिया है, तुम भी मान लो, and he says, तुम लोग ने अपना लीडर चुन लिया, ये लीडर हमने लोग चुन लेगा.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know,
very nice
it's an
point.
incredible line. I think Divya Nidhi Sharma, who's a dialogue writer, has done an incredible job. People have been calling me up, messaging me with lines. You know,
Yeah.
I met these wonderful, all these beautiful stringer reporters who really have no agenda in terms of review and criticism. Who I met in IFI, and they were just mouthing line after line after line after line. You know, I love these guys. You know.
And that you say was conscious, the dialogue writing was conscious.
Totally, totally. Because I think that Rocket Boys, given the fact that Homi Baba is was highly elite and westernized, studied in Cambridge, so did Vikram Sarabhai. We chose to be as true to the way their spoken language, which for all intents and purposes was English. So Rocket Boys turned out to be 60 to 70% English and 30% Hindi, or 30 or 40% Hindi, which I felt somewhere is a slight drawback. It did not alleviate elevate the show to the level of a scam, you know, where I think Hansel did a brilliant job with, you know, Karan Vyas and his dialogues. So my this thing was that I have to learn from even my contemporaries and my colleagues, you know, and so that my first one of my first brief conversations with Danish Khan and Shaukat at Sony was that the dialogues will be extremely Salim Javed.
Yeah, you've been saying that. But do you think Rocket Boys was relatively a safer territory because science is safe territory and politics is rather volatile hotbed?
You know, I don't know. I feel that maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I might tomorrow learn a lesson. So I don't know, but I just feel that I don't think I'm standing at a very how disputable space. How can anybody dispute that Mahatma Gandhi basically paid the highest sacrifice anybody could pay just for not wanting India to be partitioned? That's what the story is. What I've chased. The beginning
Right.
of season one starts with Gandhi saying that देश के बंटवारा होने से पहले मेरा शरीर का बंटवारा होगा. It ends, the season one ends with a flyer being printed that Gandhi breaks his promise, he must pay, right?
Mm,
The season two ends with Gandhi
mm,
giving up his life
mm,
for the one thing that everybody's, you know, today blames him for. It's not
yeah,
possible. So I don't think I'm standing. I
mm,
don't think I'm standing at a very how do I put it? I'm very comfortable in the space I'm standing.
absolutely. No, it is no doubt a brilliant series, but you're talking of that you're taking us back to the very room in which all these discussions may have taken place. But I also think that the series speaks to us today when we are caught in some kind of a communal strife.
Well, let me put it this way: that episode, the first season is about the rooms inside where these decisions were taken.
Mm,
The second season is the repercussions of those decisions,
mm,
right? And you know, yeah, you know, my idea is that I wanted to also show that there was a huge amount of politics also that was being played out at that time. So if you are making any kind of comparison, it's possibly because I mean one thing has not changed is politics.
Yeah. But talking of your journey, you started with Saeed Akhtar Mirza, Kundan Shah, Sudhir Mishra, and then you went on to work with Karan Johar as
Karan and
well.
Adi, yeah.
Yeah. But do you think your sensibilities then are a mix of, both of these, the influences?
I think very clearly that my voice and I've discovered it over the past couple of years. My voice tends to be closer to the Saeed and the Kundans and the Sudhirs, but
Hmm.
the way the treatment of that voice or the way I'm screaming is more Karan and Adi because it's highly dramatic and it doses of melodrama. You know.
Hmm.
Rona
But
Dhona and the choreography and the staging and the treatment of the scenes is more mainstream. Let's put it that way. So My head is slightly mainstream. My heart is more indie.
Okay. Well, but you given us Kal Hona Hai, Ho Na Ho, and also a very successful Batla House. So what does OTT mean for you?
Well, it means liberation. It means that I'm able to not be pressurized by what is now. I mean, what everybody claims to have a formula for the big screen, and every week that formula seems to be rewritten. You know, so as a storyteller, it's extremely confusing, right?
Yeah.
There should, a couple of months ago, it was only about, or a year ago, it was about having big stars. Now, in big stars are not firing at the box office. Then it was content. Content is definitely not firing at the box office. So I feel I'm in a very, I feel OTT is like this warm hug that a
Mm.
filmmaker and a storyteller gets, you know. And as long as you have great collaborators, which we are very lucky to have, whether it is one platform or whether it's the other platform, you know, they allow us to do what we want to do. Freedom at Midnight is something not something that I chased. Danish Khan and Saugata brought it to me. Rocket Boys is not something that I chased.
Mm.
Siddharth Roy Kapoor brought it to me. Mumbai Diaries, for that matter, what I'm doing next is again something that Amazon brought to me. So we've been very lucky to be able to reaffirm the faith that OTT platforms keep having in us.
Does your approach change for when you're making movies
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when you
One is a sprint and the other is a marathon.
hmm. So
And the
which is
approach has to change.
tougher? Yeah.
You have to pace yourself when you're doing OTT, right? You're doing 7 episodes, 8 episodes. In the case of Freedom at Midnight or Rocket Boys, you're doing 15 episodes, right? So
Mm.
you have to pace yourself. You have to be that much more focused because in a particular day you'll be shooting a scene from episode 2, then 4, then 8, then 10, depending
Mm.
on the location and the availability of the actors, right?
Mm.
So you have to understand, you have to know, so because if Nehru's not getting his graph right, you have to know that, listen, boss, you're going to reach here in episode 8. This is episode 4. You got to think about the scene that you're going to be doing in episode 8. So yeah, so I think that is extremely difficult. It's a very different process altogether. You know, and for somebody who thrives on the set, I love OTT.
Mhm. Okay. You said that you are a history buff, you love history, but what is it about history that truly fascinates you? Most people think it's
Let
best life buried.
I feel it's a little less complicated than the times that we are living in today, right? But at the same time, I feel that it also raises a lot of questions whose answers are away. I mean, 80 years later, we are still not been able to find. So I want to try and whether raise those questions, but whether I'm successful in answering those questions, at least I want to start having people having conversations about those questions, you know, because I feel that today it's very easy for us to jump at answers, right? But we don't even know the questions.
Yeah, that's and and what next? You're thinking of making something on revolutionaries as well.
Yeah, I'm not thinking. I'm making. That's the.
So,
I mean, Amazon has already announced it. That will be after season 2 of Freedom at Midnight. That will be something else that MA is doing. MA Entertainment is also will announce another 3 4 projects in the next
mm,
couple of months, which we have been in development. You know, we were one of the first production companies to come out with all guns blazing after the lockdown. Everything that
mm.
we did, all the writing that we did during lockdown, we produced and we put out. And it's been Veda and Freedom at Midnight for the last year and a half, 2 years. But now all the other directors are ready and they've cast and they are prepped and they're all ready to go. So lots of announcements will come.
Since I'm in Punjab, so a lot of names from our region will definitely surface in that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no question about it, right? Revolution is about Kartar Singh Saroba, Lala Hardyal.
Mm.
So a lot of wonderful, heroes from the Punjab. I mean, there's no question about it. When you're talking about anything to do with revolution and history, there were two states that was one was Punjab and the other was Bengal.
Hmm.
And so yeah, so I mean, and I'm fascinated with both of them. One is like my Maike because my wife is Bengali, but the
Uh,
other is where the people who I love, which is Yash Jor and Yash Chopra, they both are from Punjab, you know.
yeah. And casting of Punjabi actors
Yeah,
was so much
100%. Yeah,
difficult.
Kavish is an
Yeah.
incredible. Kavish Sinha is an incredible casting director. He he
Hmm.
he insists on casting as far as the ethnicity is concerned. So, over Punjab, if there is a Sardarji, I mean, my favorite, one of my favorite actors in the show Freedom at Midnight is this wonderful actor who plays the role of Master Tara Singh. I want to
Hmm.
cast him in everything.
Yeah. I think I'll ask the last question because she's pinging me to close it down. Uh, you are both a creator and a director. How do you take the call that this time I'm going to be a creator and now this is a show I want to direct as well as create?
Voice, just simple voice. If I have something that I feel that I can say when that particular subject is being discussed either in the conferences of the platform or the studio versus and in our own internal MA entertainment obviously, if I feel that there is something definitely that I can use that as a catalyst to be able to say something, then I'll direct it. Otherwise, I'm very happy to just, sit back and allow other voices to possibly take me to or take MA to that place where, like for instance, Abhay, had a
Hmm.
clearer voice and a more informed voice as far as the science of Rocket Boys was concerned. So it became a very easy choice.
Mhm. But a creator's job is very different from a director's, that's for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you have to be a little more. I think you have to be a little more objective. Directors have the. Uh, I mean, it's a curse or a boon because I mean the directors are so close to
Involved.
their own material,
Hmm.
but as a creator, you have to be able to see a picture which is not so focused, and somewhere or the other you are playing like a mediator between producer, platform, and director.
And when you are both the creator and director, how do you retain the objectivity then?
Then I use my left brain, right brain. It becomes highly multiple personality.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
it's like that Vikram. It's like that Shankar movie where Vikram is talking to his one part of the brain is talking to the other part of the brain. They're fighting each other. What is it called? Aparichit or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. And we are so looking forward to the second season as well as your series on these revolutionaries. Thank you so much for your time and always a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
watch your work. Yeah. Thank you.